Today, the book is a delight. Welcoming, historical, epistolary, sensitive, and full of love for books. The Literary Society and the Potato Peel Pie, the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society, Marianne Schaffer and Annie Barrows, genre historical novel, epistolary fiction, delicate drama, literary novel. Climate welcoming, British, post-war, charming, human. Status originally published by the Dial Press Random House. The 2009 edition by Dial Press, trade paperback, appears in the Penguin Random House catalog, which also records the book among the Washington Post's 2008 best books. The premise, no spoiler. The story takes place right after World War II. Juliet Ashton is a writer in London trying to find a new theme, a new voice, maybe even a new direction for her life. One day, she receives an unexpected letter from a resident of the island of Guernsey in the English Channel. This letter mentions a literary society with an absolutely improbable name, the Literary Society and the Potato Peel. From this exchange, Juliet begins to meet, by letters, a group of people who lived through the German occupation of Guernsey during the war. The book is fictional, but relies on actual historical events of the German occupation of the Channel Islands during World War II. And the most beautiful thing, it's not just a story about war. It's a story about how books, friendship, and small communities can help people survive the horror without completely losing their tenderness. The atmosphere of the book. This book smells of paper, hot tea, rain in the window, letters stored in drawers and small bookstores. It is constructed in the form of letters, so the reading seems intimate. You don't feel like you're just watching a story. It feels like you're opening old correspondences and slowly discovering people. The vibe is small island post-war British humor, discreet emotional wounds, love for literature, improbable friendship, gentle romance, no hurry. It is a book that warms up without pretending that pain does not exist. Deep layers of the work. One, books as shelter. Here, literature does not appear as an intellectual decoration. It appears as survival. During moments of fear, scarcity, and uncertainty, the characters find in the books a way to remain human. They read to remember that there is still beauty. They talk about books so as not to go mad in silence. They bond because one story pulls another and one person pulls another. It is a perfect book for those who believe that reading is not an escape from life. Sometimes that's what allows you to get back to it. 2. Community as a cure. Literary society is born from a difficult context, but it becomes something greater, a circle of belonging. Each character has his wounds, his humor, his strangeness, and his way of dealing with what he has experienced. The book shows something very beautiful. No one heals alone all the time. Sometimes healing comes from a table, a conversation, a letter, a bad recipe, a shared memory, a small laugh. 3. Humor in the midst of pain. This is a beautiful point. The book talks about war, loss, and memory, but it does not get heavy all the time. He has humor. It has eccentric characters. It has ironic phrases. He has a very human lightness. It is not that artificial lightness that ignores tragedy. It is the lightness of those who have suffered and can still laugh. 4. Letters as a form of intimacy. As the book is epistolary, the characters reveal themselves through writing. Writing letters is different from talking. The letter allows pause, choice, confession, style. Every person has a voice. You get to know Juliet, Dawsey, Isola, Amelia, and the others not by great descriptions, but by the way they write, remember, play, hide, and count. It's like making friends with characters by correspondence. 5. The emotional post-war. The book is not at the height of the war, but at the after. And this is important. The after also hurts. After the danger passes, there are still absences, marked houses, losses, guilt, longing, memories, and attempts to reorganize life. The work asks gently, how does a community come back to life after being crossed by fear? Characters, no spoiler. Juliet Ashton, intelligent, witty, curious, somewhat restless writer. She's trying to figure out what she really wants to write and live. Dawsey Adams, resident of Guernsey, kind, discreetess, connected to books and the land. He is that kind of character who speaks little but carries presence. Isola Pribby, eccentric, funny, intuitive, a delightful figure. It gives the book a somewhat unpredictable energy. Amelia Marjorie, more closed, marked by war, protector of the group and the memory of the island. Elizabeth McKenna, a very important presence in the story, even when she is not at the center of the scene. It represents courage, humanity, and endurance. Style of the authors. The writing is charming, clear, and very effective. It is not an experimental or difficult book. He is accessible, but not silly. The charm comes from the voices. Each card has rhythm, humor, intention. The narrative is formed by pieces, like a quilt made of memories. It's one of those books that look simple, but have very beautiful emotional engineering. Short micro excerpts. As it is a contemporary work, I leave only small fragments. Reading good books bad you for enjoying bad books. Reading good books spoils you to like bad ones. Open quote, reading keeps you from going gaga, close quote. Reading prevents us from freaking out. Open quote, spring is nearly here, close quote. Spring is almost here. These passages show the tone well, love of books, humor, and a thread of hope. Curiosity. The book became a film in 2018, directed by Mike Newell, with Lily James in the role of Juliet Ashton. Netflix presents the adaptation as a story of a London writer who connects with residents of Guernsey and discovers the reading club formed during the German occupation in World War II. The adaptation is beautiful, but the book has its own charm because the letters create an intimacy that the cinema cannot always reproduce. Feeling when reading this book is like receiving mail from people you don't know and suddenly realizing that you miss them. It makes you want to drink tea, reading with blanket, writing letters, entering a small bookstore, to believe that good people are still on the most unlikely paths. He is welcoming but not naive, sweet but not sugary, historical but very human. For whom this book is perfect. For those who like books about books, historical romance, letters, eccentric characters, friendship, post-war, small communities, delicate humor, and stories that warm up without denying pain. The Literary Society and the Potato Peel Pie is a book for breathing. After Han Kang's intensity, he comes like a warm cup in his hand. And the phrase that remains for me is, sometimes a letter opens a door that I have not been able to open in my whole life.